High school sports, we've got it covered. Overtime starts now.
Well, the games for this Friday are in the books, but the fun is still going strong right here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Overtime. I'm Scott Leber.
And I'm Regan Holgate. We had our camera crews all over the area tonight, from Dixon to Dakota to Kirkland and Rochelle. We'll also bring you some very interesting Nick 10 matchups. Would we see an upset tonight?
Perhaps. Tim Bailey's going to join us with his reaction to what happened in the Nick 10, and Reagan's going to show us a different side of Akron quarterback Aiden Wolf. But let's start things off with our game of the week, the game that you saw tonight in Genoa.
Yes, and when GenoaKingston and Byron get together, you can almost bank on that game going down to the wire. And every year, this game often shapes the Big Northern Conference Championship. The Tigers came in with a record of 2-1. The Cogs were 3-0. Big breakaway here for quarterback Braden Smith. He'll get the nice pickup for Byron nearing the end of the first half. Later drive now for the Tigers. It would be freshman Caden Considine all the way under the pile in there and in for the touchdown. Byron leads 21-3. The Cogs would try to answer quick, but Nathan Kleba, he's scrambling here, can't find a man, and it's picked off by Aiden Daub to end the first half. Byron's student section traveled well, as they always do, and they were fired up. Halfway through the third now, Smith pulls back. He has Braylon killed off, and what a stud catch from the junior tight end. The Cogs wouldn't find the end zone, though, until the fourth. Here with this absolute dot from Kleba. Was it a catch? Was it not? It was, and that would add 6 for GK. The Cogs would add another score, but Byron had this one all the way, 35-15, the final.
Got a lot from a lot of different people. I thought we played sound defense, but more importantly, I just thought our kids brought the intensity tonight and played hard.
They were a great team, easily comparable to Stillman. You know, they're going to be a great team in the playoffs. They always are, but it feels great to come out on top. We got to get back to work on Monday.
That was just one of 2 big games in the Big Northern Conference tonight.
Yeah, the other one had Stillman Valley taking on Dixon. Taylor Castro drew the assignment for that. She joins us right now. Hi, Taylor.
Hey guys, both of these teams came into this game undefeated, and Stillman Valley had an impressive win against Byron in week 1. If the Cardinals could knock off the Dukes on the road, they'd be sitting in great shape in the Big Northern Conference race. All of the fans at the game knew there was a lot on the line here. Both student sections were absolutely fired up. This one started out as a defensive battle here. Jack Sechrist takes down the Dixon ball carrier with a massive tackle. It was scoreless for the first quarter. Now in the second, it would be Stillman Valley to strike first. Jory Spain sneaks into the end zone to give the Cardinals the lead, and it's what got the game going after a slow start on offense for both teams. The Duke's defense wouldn't slow down, though. Porter Needs, he dodges a bunch of defensemen for an extra yards here on this carry. What a battle. Braden Engel then turns on his wheels for this score. Not 1, but 2 Dukes failed to stop him, and here he goes. He takes it all the way to the end zone to put the Cardinals up. Another score on the Dukes. But Dixon still put up a fight. Look at this dime of a throw from Tyler Shaner to Ryan Ramsell. That would put the Dukes on the board, but they'd stop there. Stillman Valley beats Dixon 36-6. So the Cardinals are 4-0. Their big showdown with GenoaKingston will come on the final week of the regular season at Stillman Valley. Regan and Scott.
Thanks, Taylor. That just might be our game of the week in week 9. We'll see how things play out.
Let's check out some more Big Northern action. Rock Falls took on Rockford Lutheran, and hey, who's this on the Lutheran sideline? The one and only Bruce Bazzali, their former coach, back for a visit. Good things happen when he's on the Satyrs sideline, like some good defense. The Sailors all over that Rockets run play. Leo Lara, one of the guys there to make the stop, number 4. Second quarter, King Hughes back near his own end zone. He's going to keep it. Weaves through the Rockets. Some really nice moves here. And he's still going, folks. Rockets finally going to bring him down around the 48-yard line. That sets up this play. The reverse. It's sophomore David Ballard who gets the handoff. Watch the nice block right there by Hughes. Ballard slips a tackle. Going to break away from another, and he's taking it in for 6. Jeff Lukey's Crusaders even up their record at 2-2 as they win big, 48-0. Next up, Rockford Christian. The Royal Lions hosted North Boone. Chandler Olderman, the quarterback for North Boone, the biggest guy on the field as well, and when he runs, he's pretty hard to bring down. He is a load. Look at that pure power there for him. He is also the conference's leading passer, and watch him drill this one to Julian Rodriguez. It was 6-0 Vikings. Alderman again finds Chris Dutch on the sideline, and he's out near the 10. And that same combo hooks up again. Alderman to the end zone, and it's Dutch for the TD. North Boone is in the win column. The Vikings defeated the Royal Lions 47-0.
There was one other game in the Big Northern Conference tonight. Winnebago beats Oregon 27-8. We have NUIC action coming up in a bit in our Spotlight feature story on Freeport-Akron quarterback Aiden Wolf. But next, we'll focus on the Nick 10.
Tim Bailey's getting warmed up in the bullpen to jump in with us with his thoughts on tonight's action, including Harlem against Guilford. Could the Vikings pull off a surprise?
The Rockford public school teams have shown improvement early on this season. Auburn and Jefferson in particular, and perhaps most of all, Guilford.
Yeah, the Vikings have a lot of players on their roster this year. They won their first 2 games last week. They made Hononegah work before losing that one. So have the Vikings elevated their game enough to pose a threat to the Harlem Huskies? Well, let's find out. They played tonight at Swanson Stadium. Guilford playing physical. Austin Redmond going to get whacked by Devlin Oliver. Redmond later left the game with an injury. Javon Jones, as usual, running hard for the Vikings, and he's going to pick up first down yardage here, deep in Harlem territory. And Skylar Wolf is going to go to the air. He has LaDamian Hoffman for a TD. I'll tell you what, this is a really good combo, those two guys. 20-7 Guilford in the third quarter. Jamani Muhammad on the direct snap is going to go in for a Huskies TD in the third quarter. They still had a shot at this point, but 2 big special teams plays turned it. Harlem gets the pump block by James Benson. Devlin Oliver will return it down to the 10-yard line. That set up a Jones TD. On the next Harlem punt is Gian Herrera who gets the block. And watch it, he comes up with the ball then and takes it on in for the touchdown. Guilford gets his biggest win in a long time, beating Harlem 42-19. All right, let's welcome our Nick 10 analyst, Tim Bailey here, a former Nick 10 star himself and the sports performance manager at Mercy Health Top Performers. All right, Tim. So I thought Guilford with their physical style play would cause some problems for Harlem, and boy, did they in this game.
Yeah, they did. Guilford played really well in every facet of the game tonight. Guilford's that team that's going to be, people be talking about for the next 2 or 3 weeks, beating a team like Harlem. They played with great zeal tonight, and they actually played with great grit as well. And, some things that they did on defense, they made great stops when they needed to make big stops. They came up big on offense. They have a bevy of playmakers on both sides of the ball. I like the way they flow on defense. I don't think anybody knew tonight that Guilford would actually come out and play this well. But they definitely earned a lot of people's respect tonight and coming out and playing in this type of fashion.
And Tim, you were a former standout running back in the Nick 10. Guilford's got a good one in Javon Jones, the conference's leading rusher. Break down his running style for us.
Well, first of all, I wish I had his size back in my day. But no, he's a hard runner. I like the way he runs. He reminds me of a guy that played at the U of M, at University of Michigan, by the name of Tyrone Wheatley. Great back, big size, big back, can get north and south very well, drops his pad level when he needs to. Kid runs a little high, but he gives actually Guilford that good toughness at that running back position that you need, when you're playing against tough defenses like a Harlem tonight. But I like the kid. He's sharp. He's going to be a good one. And the beauty of it all, this kid's only a junior, as I found out tonight. This kid's a junior, so they're going to have him back next year. But this kid should finish strong, and he should be one of the premier backs in the league this year and going into next year as well.
The one thing this Guilford team has that we haven't seen in a long time is a quarterback who can make plays in the air. Skylar Wolf, what'd you think of him?
Wolf, man. Oh, wow. This kid, he showed me a lot tonight. I like the way he moved in the pocket. He's a dual threat athlete. He can pass in the pocket very well. When he needs to get outside of the pocket, he can throw on the run. And that's something that you want out of a quarterback. And what also, too, I saw tonight is just his leadership. I think the guys on offense, really believe in him. I think the coaches really believe in him. There's a couple things that I like for him to really focus on. Go back and watch your mistakes that you made, against Harlem tonight. So when you come back in the following weeks, those mistakes that you made against Harlem, you're able to adjust those mistakes and you don't make those mistakes going forward, because the competition is going to pick up here in the next 2 to 3 weeks, because these teams still have Boylan on their actual menu, and then also, too, they have Belvedere North on their menu, though. But this kid's a standout. I like the way he throws the ball. He's definitely a playmaker.
And I think this game shows, too, that there's a lot more balance in the Nick 10 this season, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a little bit more parity. You know, everybody wants parity. You know, no one likes to see running clocks. No one likes to see, you know, blowouts. But, you know, sometimes those things happen. But, you know, I think Guilford's that team in the Nick 10 and then also, too, in District 205 that's showing that, hey, look, you know, we can compete with the Boylans. We can compete with the Hononigas. And I think that's what we need around here. I think we don't need to continue to see blowout games. I think we need to see more parity. The better the parity, the better the athletes, the better the conference, the better the notoriety that the actual conference gets.
All right, we're going to hear more from Tim in just a moment. First, let's see what else happened in the Nick 10 tonight.
The winless Belvedere Bucks took on the Boylan Titans. The Titans were about to shake off their loss to Belvedere North last week. We'll start with the Bucks. Trey Williams, he'll fake the handoff, gets outside, jukes the defender, and he'll pick up a Bucks first down. Titans taking over now in the red zone. Who else? Connor Dennis will dish it out on a screen pass to Makai Glover. And Glover finds some room to run after the catch for the game's first points. Now he's looking to the big man for the celebration. His teammates absolutely loving it. Titans knocking on the door again, and this time Donovan Hanser darts to the sidelines, cuts it up, and he'll be in for the touchdown. Boylans took care of business early, beating Belvedere 61-6.
On to Wyatt Stadium for the E-Rabs and the Auburn Knights. East at the 40-yard line. Makai Matthews going to run some play action here. And he's throwing it deep, but it's intercepted. One-handed grab by Jeremiah Walker there. Let's take another look in the slow-mo. How about that grab, huh? All right. Later, East with the football again, looking for redemption, handing it off to, guess who's back, folks? Javius Catlin, running great as always. Big hole, you don't catch him, a 35-yard TD. Auburn's ball next on the next possession, 4th down and 1. Anthony Purifoy will hand it off to Patrick DeBose Jr. And at first glance, it looks like he was maybe stopped, but he just keeps those legs churning and somehow is going to pop free and take it to the house for the TD. That's why you never give up on a play. Back and forth brawl this was. East, though, comes out on top, 22-14.
Also in the Nick 10, Hononiga beats Freeport 42-22, and Belvedere North will beat Jefferson 46-7. Let's get Tim's thoughts on some of what we just saw. No real surprises there, though.
No, not at all. You know, those teams that came out victorious tonight was to be expected. You know, Boylan came out big tonight. You know, they played very well, rebounding from last week's loss. East came out, you know, tonight and showed, you know, hey, look, we got our playmaker back. We got one of our big components back, which is in Catlin, and they showed that tonight and they played well. So, you know, Belvedere North, you know, did what they were supposed to do tonight. You know, they played really well. You know, those teams that, you know, we just highlighted, you know, those teams are expected to play well and continue to play well against the teams that they actually played tonight.
All right, thank you so much, Tim. Don't go away, folks. NUIC action is up next.
Action from Dakota and Pecatonica right here on Overtime.
Well, the Dakota Indians have shown signs of improvement this season under new head coach Dan Sheets. They lost to Lee Win in week 2, but they won in weeks 1 and 3.
Tonight they would get another good measure of how far they've come. The Forresting Cardinals invaded Dakota. We'll start in the fourth quarter, all tied up at 20. Dakota QB Caden Niedermeyer keeps it, makes a few moves, and dives for the end zone. He'll get the touchdown. Indians would attempt to go for 2, but it'll be intercepted. It stays 26-20. Forreston would respond. Running back Jonathan Cobbler fights forward and into the end zone. We're tied again at 26 now. Cardinals electing to go for 2, and they will get it as Micah Nelson cashes in for the lead. One last chance now for Dakota, no timeouts. Niedermeyer over the middle to Thomas Bowman, puts his head down, spins, and he's in there with 19 seconds on the clock. What a finish. Dakota beats Forreston in a nail-biter, 34-28.
Holy moly, how about that? Another NUIC action. EPC down the road in Pecatonica, taking on the Rivermen. EPC with the ball. Carson Heron rolling, looking, and he's picked off. A.J. Mulcahy secures it. Mulcahy then gets the ball on offense for the Rivermen, and he'll pick up the first points of the game as well, plowing ahead, 7-0 DuPec. Later, Dupac's Kufra Hoffman looking. He's got time, fires downfield right on the money to Jackson Diedrich with a nice grab. That would lead to this. Hoffman on the keeper. Finds some space and powers into the end zone. That made it 14-0. Dupac would roll from there, shutting out APC 43-0. Galena beat Stockton 40-8, and Lena Winslow destroyed West Carroll 70-0. Well, the Rochelle Hubs are off to an undefeated start this season thanks to an experienced group of seniors. They hosted Harvard. Hubs football, and Trey Taft gets the handoff on the sweep. He's going to cut it back inside, and he is off to the races. Taft darts into the end zone, putting Rochelle up 13-0, and the cheerleaders were working hard tonight because there were a lot of points put up. Let's check in with another senior star, Garrett Gensler. This kid's lightning quick. Gets around the edge, and he'll waltz in for the score, his second of the night. The student section just loving it, decked out in their Hawaiian garb. Rochelle up 19-0. Still in the first half, more to come from Coach Kissick's boys. And again, it's going to be Gensler on the sweep. This is almost identical to the last score. He's going to bust away and scamper in his third TD of the night. Hubs led 25-0 at the break. Gensler was a man amongst boys on this next one. Look at the shiftiness here. This is in the third quarter. Makes a guy miss, breaks to the open field, and just gets chased down barely from behind, but he would cap it off for a TD a couple plays later. The Hubs run their record of 4-0 as they smash Harvard 47-13.
Also tonight, Sycamore beats Ottawa 54-20, and DeKalb takes Matea Valley 48-0. Let's go to Kirkland now for 8-man football. The 3-0 Hiawatha Hawks hosted the Orangeville Broncos. The Broncos started out hot, only had to take 2 snaps for Blake Holgate to get the ball and run away with it all the way to the house. Orangeville on the board first with 6. Hawks want revenge after that one, though. Christopher Korb, he'll find Cole Brantley on the edge. He slips past the defender and looks like he's going to go the distance, but not so fast. Korb throwing darts early on, and, well, here's another. Lucas Norvell. He'll make the massive catch downfield, and it would be all tied halfway through the first quarter, but Hiawatha will stay undefeated after winning this one 60-40. Also in 8-man football, Milford beats Amboy 40-30, and River Ridge beats out Akwin 46-20. Milledgeville will take Polo 54-38. Coming up, we'll tell you more about Akwin's star quarterback and the influence he has off the field.
Stay with us, it's coming right up.
Sometimes it's easy to forget that these football players we highlight every week are about more than just football. So tonight we take you to Freeport to see the impact Akwin senior Aiden Wolf has inside the classroom. He's the star of this week's Overtime Spotlight segment.
3, 2, 1.
Things are different this year in the Akwin school system.
I see them all day, so I kind of get closer to them since we've changed schools here.
Yes!
K through 12 now walk the same halls. It's something unique that most students don't get to experience.
I think it's probably cool for them to see us walking down the halls, and I mean, they watch us play every week, so I think it means a lot to them.
The Little Dogs watch senior Aiden Wolf on the football field every Friday night. And during the week, they get to high-five the star quarterback in the hallways.
All the time I see them walking down the hall, and they're all like, oh, that's the quarterback, and it's really cool to see them say that.
It's not just about the encounters that happen in passing, though, but the ones inside the classroom.
Countdown?
3, 2, 1. It's floating! Oh my goodness!
Aiden is taking an elective called Intro to Education, which gives students an opportunity to interact with the elementary school kids and get hands-on experience as a teacher.
It's floating!
And you may wonder, why? Why would Aiden want to take this class? Well, the answer is pretty simple.
I'd like to be a teacher when I'm older and work with little kids.
The class also includes 3 volleyball players from last year's third-place team at state, and they were all a bit shocked to see Aiden walk in on the first day.
When he walked in the class, I think we all just kind of chuckled. We're like, what are you doing in here?
But now realizing that this is something he was meant to do.
Aiden is showing that it's not just girls that can do it. Like Aiden's running to these kids too.
All right, we got a little trickery coming. All right, here's the trickery. Huddle.
The class is taught by Tia Heimerdinger, who has been teaching at Akwin for 14 years. She's been Aiden's teacher for 4 years now.
It's so fun to see him in such a different light, and seeing that come out, it's awesome.
To know Aiden Wolf outside of football isn't something most people get to see. But inside the walls of Akwin High School, he holds a different role.
They see him on the football field. They see him in the hallways. Those are two different ways they see him. And to be a role model in both is something that not everyone gets the chance to see.
A role model. Maybe not a title he was expecting, but it's one Aiden fully embraces.
Good work. Come on now. Because I feel like it has a big impact on them, and it shows them that we care about who they are.
Pretty special.
Yeah. Ready?
Put it in like hot chocolate. Yeah.
He is one that the students, young and old, gravitate to, and I think he's learning how to use that leadership in a positive way on the field and off of the field.
That's touchdown. That's right, Braden. Yes, sir.
It's always nice to see upperclassmen taking time to be with the little kids, or the little dogs, as they refer to them at Akwin. They really can make such a positive impression.
Yeah, I remember when I was in grade school, I really looked up to the high school athletes at my school. I thought they were larger than life at that time.
We'll be right back after this final timeout. Good night.
Enjoy your weekend, everybody.